today's lesson we're going to talk about table saw safety. Alright, so this is a SawStop 36-inch cabinet table saw. Alright, now table saws have the potential to be one of the most dangerous tools in the shop, but if you use them correctly, it can be very safe and be a very useful tool in any kind of woodworking activity you're involved in. So the first rule on a table saw is your fence, or let's go over some parts. You got your fence, blade, riving knife, obviously the table. We have push sticks, just a regular basic push stick, a little fancier kind of push sticks. You buy these on Amazon. You also have, if you're not using your fence, these miter gauges. Push in the track, push stop through that way. If you're doing 45, you can use this. You can also go to the other side. Let's see. So when we're setting up to use a table saw, the biggest concern is what's called kickback. And what kickback is when you're running a board, and as you're running it, the board turns into the saw, and the saw blade throws it back at you, okay? Now, part of what makes a table saw work the way it does is the blade actually spins towards the user. So when you're cutting on a table saw, you need to make sure that you're not leaned right over the blade, if possible, kind of off to the side, out of the way so that this does kick back, it's not going to hit you. Alright? Another consideration, when we go to cut, whatever you're cutting, this is some 3/4 inch plywood, so we want to set the height of our blade, and this right here is a little bit too tall, we want to set that just barely above, okay? The less exposed blade, the safer you will be. If you got this blade, or it's sticking way up, it's a lot of blade exposed that you can put a finger in, hand, something, or it could catch something and cause some serious injury. Alright? So we always want to make sure we adjust down our blade. You want it to come up through so it makes a complete cut, but you don't need it out of line. Alright? Always want a writhing knife or a splitter in place. And then back to like our push stick. So the general rule to use a push stick is if you're cutting something that the fence to the blade is less than 6 inches. So if we got this set where it's a cut less than 6 inches, we're going to either use a push stick, push it through. You use this if it's small enough, and we could even adjust this so that it'll go, if it's something real narrow, that the blade will go in between that gap and go right over. Alright, this will keep your hand out of there, this keeps your hand out of there, okay? Now another consideration, no matter what size the cut, when we run this through, we never stop and bring it back towards us, okay? So as I'm cutting, I get all the way through, and I'm done, I just push it out, okay? That's why we have this out feed table here. That's to catch your stock as you push it out, keep it from falling on the floor. But you always just finish your cut, and then push it past the blade. Now, it's not try to push it across the shop as hard as I can, but we don't want to just be sitting in here stopped with this blade spinning and there's a piece of wood there that could cause a potential kickback. Alright? So I think that about covers the basic table saw safety.